Hi everyone, and welcome back to Age Gap Love Story. We have missed you a whole bunch, and we're so happy to be recording videos again. Thank you for being patient. And today is actually episode 32 of Age Gap Love Story, and we're going to do a little life update because it's been close to a year since we did our last video.
This is episode 32, and we have a 32-year age gap.
And you don't have to talk quite as loudly because we got some new microphones. And we're hoping that this improves the audio because we put these videos on YouTube, but then we take the audio and put them on a podcast episode. So we wanted to make the audio a little nicer for our podcast listeners and probably for the YouTube viewers as well. But if you're new to our channel, we are Carrie and Alan. As Alan mentioned, we have a 32-and-a-half-year age difference, and we are a married couple, and we started this podcast and YouTube channel because we wanted to offer support and community and resources for the rest of the age gap community.
We've been married for 19 years, and we actually were a couple 5 years prior to that.
That's right. So coming up this summer, we're recording this in almost June 2022. I think will be our 19th.
I think our 19th, yeah.
Yeah, our 19th wedding anniversary.
In early July.
Yes. So also just wanted to remind you, we don't offer professional advice because we're not therapists or doctors or anything like that. So if you're, really having a serious situation, then we always refer people to seek professional help. But we want to offer our experience and our input and opinions whenever we can. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's kept in touch with us over the past year, mainly through our private Facebook group and our Instagram channel. And thank you again for being patient while we took care of a lot of other things this past year. We're going to talk about what we have been up to. And then we're also going to talk to you about some of the plans we have for our channel going forward. That's what we're going to cover today.
I'm so excited.
And I will leave the link to our private Facebook group in the description box. And that group, I think, has grown to several hundred age gap people in age gap relationships. And it is a really supportive group. And we get people asking questions at least a few times a week and getting really great input. And one thing that I've noticed about in the group is that it's a lot of the male partners. Not every age gap couple is a male and female, but it's been really cool to see some of the men who are in age gap relationships be a part of the group.
What is the widest age gap person or couple that's contacted us?
I'm not sure.
I think it's been as much as 50 years, 50.
And yeah, I think we have a couple maybe in the group. I'm not sure. Maybe you can reach out to us and let us know. But yeah, we like to hear from everybody. And I think for me, some people wonder what's the minimum age in an age gap relationship. And we've covered that in some previous episodes. But it's usually more like 10 years. And it really depends on how old the partners are. But 10 years is, it's almost, or 10 years or more, in more like 15 to 20 is where it starts to become more of, I guess, a challenge or something that you need to address.
I think it can depend also on your social environment. I mean, if it's, for example, a college freshman and a guy in his maybe mid-20s or late 20s, that could be considered an age gap.
Right. Yeah. So it really just does depend. But most of the people that we encounter, the women are in their 20s or the younger partners in their 20s, and then the older partner is a good 25 or 20 to 25 to 30 years older. Then it's really, that's more unusual. And so that's when it's helpful to have resources. And when Alan and I first started dating, because that was pre-internet, there really were no resources. And I still feel like there aren't many great resources. So that's why we're hoping to help fill that gap a little bit. You may notice that our setting has changed where we're filming. This is our home. We used to film in a office space that we had, which we no longer have anymore. So we're back at home. That's one of the transitions or changes that's been made. We work. Alan's fully retired now. I'm working 100% from home. You might hear our cats in the background. One of them's taking a nap, and one of them is kind of making some noise. So if he comes over, maybe I can get him in the shot.
We'll introduce you.
Yeah, he's making some noise over there, so he may show up. My hair color is different. I grew out my blonde hair. It was dyed blonde before. This is my natural color, so I had a really crazy, growing it out. It would look like a mess during
And in case you're wondering, this is my natural color.
during quarantine.
I'm prematurely gray.
So I think those are the biggest changes. I mean, just kind of what you see here on the screen here. And then I thought we could talk about just some of the other stuff that we've been up to over the last year or so. Oh, and I also want to mention last summer, which would have been summer of 2021, we did film some vlog style videos when we started going out and exploring our local area. And those videos did not perform as well as these informational kind of videos. So we're going to stick to this type of video. We want to just cover more topics within the age gap community, maybe answer questions, but we'll touch more on that later. Do you want to talk about your big milestone that you hit earlier this year?
Yes, I do. Well, as I think we mentioned earlier, I had my 80th birthday in early April, so I'm an octogenarian now. However, I have been told I don't look a day over 79, and I do feel great. I'm fortunately in good health. But a point I wanted to make, and this is true, I think, of everything in life, just not ensuring to the extent you can good health. But my philosophy is you either pay on the front end with effort, or you pay on the back end by suffering from a lack of effort. And how I would interpret that to my personal situation is that starting a long time ago, I improved my nutrition, and I made a real effort to get into exercise and just basically to take care of myself. And I think now at my age, although I'm sure I do have good genes based on my family history, that I would not be as energetic or as healthy or as drug-free from prescriptions as I am now had I have not paid on the front end. And why is that important in an age gap relationship? Well, I think it's important from the standpoint, again, applying that concept to every aspect of life, is that in a relationship, particularly in the early stages, you need to pay for your long-term happiness now. You need to make the effort to become more understanding of your spouse, more patient, to develop the relationship and to move forward and try to resolve issues. And if you do, it will pay many, many rewards as the years go by, assuming things work out and you stay together. So I think that's one thing that I would really emphasize that I've learned over the years. And I think similar to that is another point, and I may have mentioned this in earlier videos, is I used to have a friend who was an international banking guy, and he traveled a great deal. And he told me once over lunch when we were talking about his travel experiences, he said that the first thing he does when he gets on a plane, even though he was allowed by his company to travel first class, he said as soon as he got on the plane, he would ask the flight attendant for one of the forms that a passenger can fill out to evaluate the service during the flight. I don't know whether they still do that today or not, but he said the flight attendant would become immediately concerned and would bring him the form and say, is something wrong? Can we change your seat? And they would make a really big effort during the flight to make sure he was well looked after. And so the point is, either you let your environment control you, or to the extent that you can, you control your environment. So I think this again goes back into making every effort to do the best you can in establishing a good footing on your relationship. Make sure that if you find somebody who you think you want to have as a life partner, I think most of us know that are mature is that sex doesn't last forever. So it's got to be an emotional connection. You have to be friends as much as you do have to be physical partners. So think about those things when you connect with somebody and expand on that friendship aspect of your relationship as you get older. And it really does pay off.
Okay. Do you want to talk about how we celebrated your birthday?
We celebrated my birthday by Carrie and I hosting a 5-day trip to the Northern California wine country of the city of Napa, where we stayed in a very nice hotel with my two daughters, and who are both in their 50s, and we get along very well with them. I'm very fortunate to have two really wonderful, loving daughters, and they do like Carrie, and Carrie likes them, and we had a wonderful time. And however, I must say that I was thrilled to get back home because we really love our house and the area where we live and our community and whatever.
Yeah, but it was fun to celebrate such a big birthday.
Yes.
We really tried to make it special. And actually, you can see over Alan's shoulder, over right shoulder, there's a photo book. You can see in the shot. I made Alan a photo book for his birthday and pretty much took every photo from the past that I could find, and that was really fun. And that was kind of a neat gift
Yeah. And
to me.
coincidentally, my daughters did the same thing with a different set of photographs.
Yes.
So now I have two 80th birthday books to look at over the years.
Yeah, and then you got us another present.
I did get a ukulele, which um, takes about 3 hours to tune because I'm not very sophisticated to that. Carrie helps me, and by the time we finish tuning it, I'm exhausted. So we haven't really progressed by that, but beyond that, but Carrie was very sweet and got me the ukulele because she thought I needed some sort of musical stimulation, as it is proven to actually improve mental acuity as you age. Not that I need an improvement in my mental acuity, because I am sharp as a tack, and that would be the pointed end. So we're working on the slowly on the ukulele. In the meantime, it's a beautiful ornamental piece in our home.
Yeah, I had seen a video about how learning a musical instrument can improve your brain function at any age. So that was kind of the reason that I wanted Alan to learn a musical instrument. I really think learning any skill, any new skill at any age helps the brain. But as you get older, I'd heard that learning something new is a good thing to do. So
Yes,
we'll get there.
yes.
We've been really
And
busy.
Carrie
So
picked the ukulele because of my love for Hawaiian music.
So I thought I'd just talk briefly because this is kind of our catch up episode and we consider you guys as our friends. So we want to just keep you updated on what's going on with our life. Next video, hopefully, we'll do something more pertinent to kind of bettering the age gap community. But I just wanted to, take this time to do this little update. But a lot of you know that my job is that I developed a food blog that is fairly popular and is a full-time job now. And starting, I mean, I've been blogging since 2009, but I would say around 2017 was when I started really focusing on trying to make my food blog into a full-time business. And I think starting around 2020 was probably the first year that it was a full-time business, and it's grown. And this past year I was working on it extremely hard and it just got it really to grow a lot. And that is what has kept me so busy. And I really have had just no space in my brain to work on any of this age gap stuff. And at this point, this is just a hobby for us. We are not monetized yet. At some point, our channel will be big enough so we will get some income from the channel. But right now, we're just doing it as a service to this community. Eventually, maybe we'll have products. We've talked how it would be so fun to have a conference, an age gap conference. That is a dream for the future. If anybody else wants to take the idea and do it, go right ahead.
Maybe a cruise.
Oh yeah, that's what we talked about. We've seen these branded cruises where, like a community will take a block of rooms and
And they'll have special events
yeah, like a theme,
on the
a
cruise, like a
themed
special
cruise.
dinner and maybe entertainment and some educational programs and
Yeah, we've seen one
whatever.
for a jazz cruise, and then also I've seen one for a gluten-free cruise. So we thought an age gap one would be really fun,
Right,
and that would be so fun to do.
right. By the way, I just want to make a comment about Carrie's knowledge in nutrition. And I think that application of knowledge as far as what we eat and the supplements that we take has been a great enhancement to my health and energy. So I just wanted to point that out that, if you do want to look at her blog, Clean Eating Kitchen, there's a lot of good information there. And I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying if you want to consider changing maybe your nutrition, I'm not talking about a diet like a crash diet, just the way you eat every day forever, and any supplements you take. There's a lot of good reference information on Carrie's blog. And the second point I want to make is that we really we don't go out to eat a lot, maybe twice a week, and it's usually for either a brunch with friends on the weekends or a lunch during the week, but we really don't go out for dinner. And I think that also not dining out a lot has contributed to both our good health. And, we don't lead a terribly exciting life, which is either good or bad, maybe considering my age and Carrie's temperament, which is very accommodating to my lifestyle. So we have traveled a lot in the past, not so much recently because Carrie's been very protective of my health during the virus. And being an ex-smoker and at my age, I could easily be hit with the virus, and neither of us have had it. We are both fully vaccinated. But fortunately, knock on wood, we have not had the virus. And I think a good part of that is thanks to Carrie's caution about our exposure to other people during travel or going out and about for daily activities. So again, we're not terribly exciting, but we really do enjoy life. We enjoy our home. Carrie loves her work. We love our cats.
Yeah, and we want to continue this lifestyle together for as long as we can. So if it means we skip, skydiving and doing, um, I
Well, don't
guess,
write skydiving off too
risky,
quickly.
risky things, we kind of have make a trade off for a more, I wouldn't say like sedate lifestyle, but we're cautious and we maintain good sleep habits and try to exercise daily and just like Alan said, pay on the front end or the back end. So we're trying to live, a full and happy life now, but also we just try to be prudent with our choices.
Yes, we were walking around our little community where the little shops are, and there was this one little gift shop that had little trinkets and things, and they had a sign in there, and it said "Born to be Wild" until 9 p.m. And I think that's kind of us. We do go to bed early. Oh, you trying to get the kitty over here?
Yeah, he doesn't
You
want
want to
to.
swivel the camera and
No, I'll see if he comes over.
yeah.
The other things that keep me busy on a daily basis, I do play the violin. I'm a fairly new player at around 4 years, but if anybody plays the violin, let me know because, or you can probably appreciate it's a very challenging instrument. And I grew up playing piano, but violin is a totally different situation. It's a lot more difficult than I realized, but it's really fun, and that's something that I do on a daily basis. I also manage all the social media for my food blog. As Alan mentioned, it's called Clean Eating Kitchen. And that keeps me busy. Also, I really like to listen to podcasts, especially about nutrition and health and business development, stuff like that, entrepreneurship. And then Alan and I do try to exercise daily. I was just telling them that I listened to a health podcast that said that even just 10 minutes of um, vigorous, I think that was the word they used, or vigorous walking a day added 16 years to the lifespan of the participants in this one study. So just taking a daily walk every day is something that Alan and I like to do. And I wanted to mention this YouTube channel that we found because we used to go to a gym, but we have not in the last, since 2020 or whatever all this stuff started. But it's called Senior Fitness with Meredith. It's on YouTube, and it is such a great channel. This woman who runs it, I think she's a personal trainer, and it's very obvious that she's worked with seniors because she's offers a lot of really practical advice about working out. She never does any moves that are going to be that could hurt you. She has different levels of videos: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So we do those videos probably 3 to 5 times a week, and they're excellent. So I just wanted to mention that as a resource. And then as far as our personal plans for the rest of the summer, we are going to be having more staycation like we've done the last couple of summers. We don't really have any travel plans. We've done a little tiny bit. We went to Los Angeles for a graduation. We did not attend the actual graduation, but we attended the family celebrations around it. And then we're hopeful to get to Hawaii at the end of the summer. Really keeping our fingers crossed that we can do a nice vacation. We, of course, have not been there for going on 3 years, and that's our favorite place to go on vacation. So we're really hoping to be able to do that.
Right, we're very fortunate because living on the Central Coast in California, we have lovely weather most of the time.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
this is our boy Cat. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
And
he's
there,
not hurt. He's just very feisty.
yes,
Yeah, you're
hello. And
feisty.
there are many really cute little beach communities around us. And Carrie and I really enjoy going to these beach communities for maybe a lunch or a brunch, or going to the shops, or just walking through the little towns. And there are like 4 or 5 that are just really, really cute in this area.
And walking on the beach and just enjoying the natural
Yeah,
surroundings.
yeah,
Yeah, if you want to see, actually, we did a lot of those videos last summer. You can check our older videos if you want to see some
right.
of around where we live. And of course, if anybody ever comes to the California Central Coast, please reach out because we'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, and if you're going to visit here and you don't want to meet us, we can give you some ideas on things to do,
Yeah.
places to see. But one final thought I had as far as uh, a lifestyle or enjoying life with your partner, and the tension that can be created with family and friends and others who don't necessarily think that you're making a good move in an age gap relationship is, I think, for all aspects of life. I mean, obviously there are things that are really important to us, uh, whatever they might be. Uh, However, I have found at my age that just going a little bit more to the mellow side, accepting things uh, as they are. I mean, we all would like to change things for a perfect world, but I forget how it's phrased, but there's an old proverb that says it's really important to know the things that you can change and the things that you can't change. And unfortunately, a lot of the things that may aggravate us in life are things that we can't change. And as I mentioned earlier, things that we can change that improve our life, we should make an effort to do so. Hello. But just try to be a little more mellow and accept things the way they are. Don't be so confrontational and don't argue. And on the subject of how people may look at you as an age gap couple, in an area where we walk pretty much every other day here, there's a normal group of people that we see that we recognize that do the same walk about the same time. And there's an older gentleman that has a thick accent from somewhere in the Southeast. I'm not quite sure, Virginia, South Carolina, or whatever. But every day we say hello to him, he says hello to us. And the other morning we walked past and he was chatting with another older gentleman who may have put him up to this question. As we walked past, he said, "Can you tell me, is that your wife or is that your daughter?" And I was tempted to say it's my granddaughter, but I said, it's my wife of 19 years. And he said, oh, okay. And then we saw him again this morning and he came right up to us and he said, if my question yesterday was offensive, he said, I'm very sorry. He said, I didn't mean to pry. He said, so I hope I didn't upset you. And I told him it didn't. It's a question we get often and it wasn't a concern, but he, I think, had second thoughts that maybe the question was inappropriate or rude. And some people might take offense at it, but Carrie and I don't. We understand.
Yep. Okay, so as far as our plans for the age gap videos for the rest of the summer and hopefully for the rest of the year, our plan is to publish every other week, so twice a month, and maybe we can try to become more frequent in our posting. But for me, just being realistic with balancing work and taking care of the home, and I do all the cooking, 3 meals a day, so
Yes, we are fortunate that Carrie not only is into food, but does have the time to prepare meals. And again, not telling you how to live your daily routine, but I think dining a lot at home is another big contributor to our health and particularly my health. Some people don't have that luxury. They both work and fast food or grabbing prepared foods, processed foods is what they have to do to get along. Understand that. But to the extent that you can make more meals at home, I think it will really contribute to your health. And that improves your temperament, I think also. And temperament is a good part of getting along with your partner and with other people.
true. And also getting enough sleep.
Yes. Oh, Carrie and I are sleepy nuts. I don't know if this is common for people my age, but we go to bed about 8:30 and I sleep. Carrie gets up earlier. I sleep until about 7 in the morning. So we're talking about a lot of sleep, and I sleep usually pretty well. And then I often take a nap during the day, anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. I mean, that is a lot of snooze time, but it seems to work for me.
Yeah. And we might do some question and answer sessions. So if you have specific questions related to your situation, I think it would be very interesting to get our, I mean, hopefully it's interesting. I like hearing Alan's opinions. He does have a lot of life experience and life wisdom. I always joke that, these videos are like the Alan show because he has a lot to say, and I think it's interesting,
And you should listen and obey every word.
and some of it's important and
Some of
valuable.
it,
And then we've had a
careful.
few people ask us about doing interviews with other age gap couples, and that would be great. At this point, I just am not sure about the technical aspects of how to do that, and then more importantly, just the time to set them up is I just don't have that time right now,
You can wear a mask if you want. It's up to you.
and I
To
don't think we
maintain
should.
anonymity.
Oh, right. Oh, and I did want to say about answering questions too. I will never reveal your name if you ask me a question, like on Instagram or Facebook, and I will ask you your permission first, and I'll just use initials, or won't say the name if you want to keep that private.
We'll give you a name like Bonzo the Chimp or something. Nobody will never ever know who you are.
And then one thing I've also learned is we seem to have kind of two camps of viewers. We have a lot of viewers who are just new to an age gap relationship and kind of encountering all those issues and questions. And then we have another group of listeners who are old time age gap couples like us, and maybe more just enjoying the community and kind of commiserating about what it's been like.
We have a third group, which is comprised so far of only one person who has been asking Carrie about how he can meet, meet an older woman.
Yeah, I
But
occasionally get those requests on Facebook,
yeah,
which I delete.
yeah, we're not a dating service, so we
Yeah.
don't, we're not matchmakers.
Yeah. And then we may, as I mentioned, maybe do something like an ebook or even a published book at some point. I know there's also stuff like Patreon where you can have a membership where people pay, I don't know, a minimal amount every month. And then we could do more, probably more type of interviews, or I don't know.
I could play my ukulele.
Yeah, stuff like that. Um, that would be maybe just a way to bring the community into more of a tighter knit community where we could maybe do like Zoom meetings or stuff like that. If you have any ideas, let us know. But that's pretty much what we wanted to cover
Yeah,
today.
and if this video is, in the dawn on me, this is a long video. If our videos are too long for you or not too on target, or we don't want them to be boring. So we want them to be informative and entertaining. So if we're just kind of rambling on here and you don't like to hear all this, please let us know. We welcome your input. Your comments are important to us. We do appreciate them.
Yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.